And good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the S&P 500 for Wednesday, April 13th, 2022. Well, the foul balls or the pop-ups or whatever we want to call it continue with today's reaction again to the producer price inflation numbers. Continue to put a surprise, at least to me. And what we witnessed today again was that the market initially reacted by going down when the number first came out, showing 9.5% inflation on a producer level. And then once the US markets opened, they just stood there and bought them and bought them and bought them and bought them and ran it up. Now, what that has done is it's kind of made me reassess what I think is going on here in the markets. Now, I continue to label this as an intermediate third wave down, so that hasn't changed, but I changed the internal. And what I've done now is I've been able to count 5 down, and I'm now labeling that minor wave 1. Before minor wave 1 was here, and then we had 3 subdivisions. And actually today, the action would have created another one based on where it came and where it went up to. So I thought, no, too many subdivisions. And one of the things that I learned from reading Elliott's original work, and then also what I learned from my own teachers, Robert Prechter and Dan Ascani, was that it has to feel right. Not only does it have to look right, but it has to feel right. And that number of subdivisions in a forming larger intermediate degree decline just started to not feel right. So I went back and saw that it was definitely 5 down. So I moved that minor wave 1 down. Cleans up a lot. Does not take away from the intensity of the decline, of the depth of the decline. In fact, when I set up the additional Fibonacci relationships here, I am still expecting 34.88, same as it was before, because it's based on the intermediate degree. So where this all ends up in between this, yet to be seen. So if we have a minor wave 1 here, and then yesterday's zip higher after the consumer price index was released, showing an increase in inflation, that's now labeled as wave A instead of a sub-minute wave 2. And then the decline off of that, even though we did go to make a new low, I'll show you just so that we're all on the same page. When I put it on a line chart, you can see that that's the low, and that was just an extreme. Now, on Fibonacci basis, I will use that extreme low if I'm trying to figure Fibonacci levels off of that area. But otherwise, I am allowing that new low below what we had on during Globex Monday to Tuesday. That was 43.83. The secondary low was 75, but that actually I'm labeling as a B wave. And so going back over, that's why you're going to see it. So I have an A, a B, and now we're in a C wave. And so we have 1, 2, 3, a little bit of a 4, and then likely a wave 5. I would anticipate that wave 5 actually is going to get above, or the C wave will get above 44.66. How much? Don't really know just yet, but I can kind of assume that we might get up at least to the hourly 200 moving average, which sits at 44.71-ish. So at least get above it, maybe a little bit. Maybe it'll be held right to it. but should get above 44.6675. If not, then we're going to get a flat, and that'll bring us in still pretty much at that same level. So I'm looking for that. And tomorrow is the April options expiration because Friday is a holiday. So that expiration got moved to tomorrow. And that's what I think has actually now been taking place the last couple of days. It is moving the market up to levels where they, whoever they are, and that would be the larger players, the larger holders in a lot of these options. Like we have Apple, we have a lot of the different markets. And so that comes into play as to where they want prices to go on. For example, in Apple, I was checking earlier today and it seemed pretty clear to me that they wanted it above 170. Sure enough, there we are. Amazon surprised me. Amazon first was opening up this morning. It was barely up $1.50 to $2. Then suddenly it caught fire and it closes up almost 100. Why? Well, they probably wanted above 3,100 for the expiration. And you can come down the list. We have Facebook was heading up closer to now you can see they've even priced it up, 215 to 220. And we can go down, we can go down. I got Google, 2,600. So we're going to be, I think, begin to see this come into play as tomorrow continues to unfold. So again, minor wave one finishing at the 43.8325 low. And then we have an ABC expected to complete likely tomorrow. And that will put the cap on the minor wave two bounce. Then we begin a minor third wave, still carrying the same intensity, the same acceleration, the same falling off a cliff type movement that I have been anticipating and expecting. Even though we're seeing bits and pieces of it, we rally, it falls off the cliff. We rally, it falls off the cliff. We rally, it falls off the cliff. I'm going to expect the exact same thing, but now we're taking it up a degree. So instead of being a minute degree, we're taking it up to a minor degree. That should then, in and of itself, increase the intensity of the decline, create more of an acceleration to the downside. Now, that could start tomorrow, but I'm not banking on it. I think that we'll end up at the highs due to the expiration. And again, it's a monthly expiration. It's not the weekly, it's a monthly expiration. So it's the April monthly expiration. So there's more options involved in different instruments. So be prepared for that. Now, again, Friday's holiday. So in terms of when this all can start, the Globex session will be on as usual for Friday morning. So if you choose to trade, that would be great because the markets will be open, but our regular session will not begin. Globex runs until 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. And I think that that's how long the markets will be open on Friday morning. And then we will reopen in Globex on Sunday, late afternoon, evening. So my update, I will not be making an update tomorrow as due to the fact that the market is closed on Friday. Should something totally bizarre and happen tomorrow, or even in the Globex session, I will update the picture. I'm not anticipating that that's going to happen, but should it happen, I will update and produce an update, put it out. But that's if something truly off the wall, bizarre, totally unexpected. If that happens, I will make an update. And so we'll all be at least up to snuff of what took place. In the meantime, I am continuing to look for a little bit more upside, at least probably up to that hourly 200 moving average. And for it to close higher due to the expiration. And then once we get reopened, we start to begin that decline again. So continue to trade smartly, continue to use the moving averages, use the Elliott. Even though I make the adjustments, it carries the same message. We're in a downward move. And use the Fibonacci as well. So, in fact, I can add, let me just add one Fibonacci, and it's going to be just going to be an estimate because I don't have a wave 2 just yet, but we can put some, yeah, we'll put it there, and I'm just going to put it up here at this moving average. Let's see what we get. And we're going to get a guesstimate. So we're still thinking that, minor wave 3 should bring us down, 44,075-ish. That's what I'd be looking for, 70 to 75. And so from where we are, well, that's a pretty decent drop. And then, as I just mentioned before, ultimately, we continue to have that 1.618 for the intermediate third wave, coming in at 34.8788. So everything remains the same. We still should have some serious downside to come. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Our next update will be on Sunday, April the 17th. Have a great holiday, everybody.